wasn't far enough. It's such an honor to be here to support this great organization. I've enjoyed now 2 events raising money for this fantastic organization. It's a pleasure to be here. It's an honor to be on the Ice House stage. It's a thrill. All the photos in the dressing room are really intimidating of all the great comics that have been here, but it's a pleasure for us. And I would like to thank the women who just bought the book club with Lian Dolan.
Yeah! All right.
I don't want to say anything, but did you notice I made more than the plastic surgeon?
All right.
Which is about the only time that a novelist is going to make more than a plastic surgeon. So, as many of you know me as the author of Helen of Pasadena around town. Sheila is famously known as Miss Dolan, 3rd grade teacher around here.
Thank you very much.
But we did used to be very famous. We are the Satellite Sisters. We had a nationally syndicated radio show. And then we had a vast multimedia empire with books and magazine columns and TV appearances. And now we perform for free for charity.
Yes! All right, ladies. So I am really happy to be here tonight. I'm Sheila Dolan, as Lian said, and I thought I'd bring back the tuxedo pant tonight for Ladies' Night Out. Also, my purple pumps for ladies who like ladies in the room. And finally, I heard there were 4 gentlemen. Are there gentlemen? All right, married, single. So that's all I'm going to say.
So we thought this is just a classic Satellite Sisters night out. We always said at Satellite Sisters, the Satellite Sister is the person you call when the best thing in your life happens or the worst. And we're guessing, we know a lot of you here are cancer survivors, and you probably called your Satellite Sisters going through treatment. And so we wanted to honor that relationship. We wanted to find some really inspiring Satellite Sister pull you through story for our material tonight. But we haven't really had any family tragedies. But good news, Sheila is a hypochondriac.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, so there have been many fake emergencies in our family. Calls in the middle of the night for no reason, overreaction. So I'm going to tell you about one of those classic Your Satellite Sister Pulls You Through moments. It involves Sheila and I, and it's a story of when Sheila moved to Pasadena 10 years ago from New York City.
All right, ladies, so picture this. Newly divorced. Any divorced women tonight? Yes, of course. No, not in Pasadena. I forgot. All right. That's right. Okay. Newly divorced. It's when you're not married anymore. And I was living in New York City with a teenage daughter in a 4th floor walk-up. And it was it's a lovely part of Harlem, actually, that I could afford after my divorce. Except I told my family it was the Upper East Side.
Really upper.
So I'm there, and things started to get worse. I got evicted from the 4th floor walk-up. My daughter went off to college. I was literally an empty nester without a nest. Then I started my first relationship after the divorce. A Japanese carpenter, I don't know. He was very quiet. And then he became a workaholic. I didn't know there was such a huge market for tatami platforms. Anyway, we had broken up. I was evicted. And I started sort of manifesting all of this in a lot of physical symptoms. So it was sort of it was a syndrome.
It's a syndrome.
Like widespread swelling. That was one thing. There was a brain fog, just a brain fog. I was carbo loading. Okay, I was carbo loading. That's true. And extreme paranoia. So I started going to doctors, and I like doctors.
Yes. Yes.
I like all kinds of doctors, and I didn't know where to begin. So I started on the Lower East Side, and I went to this woman who was sort of the Margaret Sanger, of the Lower East Side. There was no examining room. It was just her living room with a table and a cat. And she felt that my whole problem was yeast. So the next thing I remember, she got a cup of Dannon yogurt from the kitchen and a syringe. And I was like, no, I'm allergic to cats. Okay, thank you very much. Then I went to another doctor, a clinic in Chinatown I heard was very famous for solving everything. And this is true. The doctor examined me and recommended two things, hot and sour soup and Prozac. So I finally said, you know what, I gotta class it up. So I went to the head of something at NYU, I forget. And I had a lot of very fancy tests. And this doctor looked at me and said, I don't know how to say this, but if you don't get any sunlight, you're gonna die. So that's when I called Lian.
That's right, and that's when I said, I don't know, the words just came out of my mouth, why don't you move to California? And if it doesn't work out, you can always move back to New York City.
And those were the magic words, because when you say it out loud, and I know you've done this with your friends, you realize there's no going back. So once Lian said, I can move back to New York, I knew I was never gonna move back to New York. So my friends in New York packed me a lovely trousseau. Black clothes, black pants, leggings, black sweater, black scarves. And the only thing that wasn't black was a faded, dingy gray sweater that had been used. And they thought I could use it for light layering in California. And then I just took everything else I owned, which actually fit into 2 medium-sized boxes. And it just sort of mailed my life off from the post office. Mailed my life to Pasadena.
And the first couple days she was here, she kept saying, are my boxes here yet? Are my boxes here yet? And there she is with like 8 layers of black clothes and a bathrobe. And I was like, I don't think the answer to your problems is coming via FedEx. I think it's in the boxes.
So, this was great. I moved into Lian's guest room in Pasadena, which was definitely larger than any apartment I'd ever lived in. And I immediately went into a 3-day coma. She said it was the lavender walls. I don't know. I knew it was my syndrome, but I didn't want to bother her.
And she was really having a hard time just adjusting to the quiet in Pasadena. The first couple days she kept saying, it's so quiet here. What's the matter? It's so quiet here. What's happening? And, you have to give her a lot of credit. It was a couple months after 9/11. She was a hardened 20-year veteran of New York, so the paranoia was natural. But she looked out my window one day and she finally screamed at me. She's like, where is everybody? I'm like, they're in their homes. And then they get in their cars and they go places.
Lian was great though. She knew I had to start small, so she made me a little map, didn't she, Lian?
I did, yep.
Little map on the back of an envelope. Orange Grove to Colorado. Orange Grove to California. Those are the only places I could go.
But when she got to places, she still had that suspicion of a New Yorker. She came home one day, she's like, you cannot believe what just happened to me at Vaughn's. This guy just said, do you want me to take your groceries out to your car? What am I, an idiot? I'm gonna give that guy my groceries?
I wasn't gonna fall for that.
I was like, it's not Dwayne Reed. They're gonna actually take your groceries out to your car. That's his job.
Oh, I loved my trips to Bonzo. They were great. And I could go further, but I felt like the big aisles, oversized shopping carts, I'm just gonna fill my life. Just fill it. And I don't know, at that point I was also, I was on a self-restricted diet. I was going vegan, just again to help with the syndrome. I wanted to get healthy.
No, she wasn't going vegan. She was just eating out of plastic containers like she was used to from Korean delis. She wouldn't put anything on a plate. I'm like, take it out of that plastic container.
No, I sat down every night for dinner with Lian, her husband, 2 boys, and I had my container. I thought I was fine. I was fine. I was fine until one day at Vaughn's. I was not fine. And I guess, I felt like maybe I'd made a huge mistake here. And here I was, a middle-aged woman in her 40s, searching for frozen vegan snacks in California. And I lost it. I lost it at Vaughn's. And interesting, those young guys, those nice guys with the groceries, they leave you alone when you start sobbing uncontrollably in the frozen food aisle. Oh, yeah. And so I called Lian again.
Yeah, I was hoping that might be the last sort of sobbing in the frozen food aisle phone call. Like maybe we had worked through something, but then it got worse. And an incident we like to call the Los Tacos moment. She had extended her reach, her comfort zone, past the Vons, or as she liked to call it, downtown. I'm like, the Orangewood Plaza isn't downtown. So she's headed downtown to get another plastic container of food at Los Tacos. And I was at home with kids, and she took she took my car, and I was at home getting dinner with my 2 small children, and like 10 minutes later the phone rings, and I can't pick it up, but I get this sixth sense, maybe it was sick, that it was Sheila. So I go to listen to the message, and this is what I hear. Lian. I was like, oh my God, someone's killed her at Los Tacos. She's spent 20 years in New York, and now she's been, mugged on the corner of Fair Oaks in California. What are the chances? Lian, I'm at Los Tacos. Oh God, is it food poisoning? What, mariachi band? What could it be? And I can't get the car into reverse. I was like, oh my God, you can't get the Volvo into reverse? And you're calling me like this? What is wrong with you? What was wrong with you?
What was wrong with me was I thought I'd made a huge mistake here, Lian. And I couldn't get my life into gear, okay? I couldn't get it started. I just, I saw it all tumbling down. So what did I do? I did what all good Irish women would do. I took to my bed, okay? Except it was Liam's bed, right? And I started layering, layers, black layers, gray sweater, bathrobe, crying, sobbing. I closed the purple curtains in the guest room. I closed those French doors. I sealed it up. And I knew at that point I had PTSD. Pasadena traumatic stress disorder. Can't even say it. I knew my life was slipping away at that point, and that's when I heard a noise coming from the living room. It was Lian, and I know that clomping. I know that Lian don't clomp. You know her. She was pissed. She was pissed. She heard me crying. She saw me in the bed. She was tired. She flung open those French doors. She put her hands on her hips. She said, "You're gonna get out of that bed. You're gonna take off those black clothes, and you're going on the freeway."
And that is sometimes exactly what your satellite sister needs to say to you to get you going.
All right. So, lived on the West Side for 10 years. I'm back, full circle. I love Pasadena. This has been so much fun tonight. Thank you so much.
Thanks very much.